The Crusaders. I'm not sure there's anyone here that we can list.
Yeah.
No. But Rev, we'll while Nelson and I try and find some names people that they should know, we'll let you go, mate.
Yeah, people you should know is tough. I think the standout name that I want to talk about, just because he might not even start, but Lester Fainga'anuku, he lit it up last year. Everyone should know his name because he's just so damaging. It seems that the Crusaders, if you have one backline injury, you're just replaced by someone even better that you haven't heard of. So he came in last year and pulled the Sevic Reese of 2019 by coming in and just dominating. He's split his time across left wing 13 times and outside centre 4 times. So he can be a little bit versatile. But the thing I like, he's just massive. And I had him in fantasy. He throws offloads with no one in mind. He doesn't care if it goes to anyone. He just loves dishing it. So there is something nice about that.
I think the offload has to land in your team's arms to be counted as points, not just thrown.
But that's the beauty, because it's the Crusaders. Someone would get to it.
Very fair.
Any other team, you'd struggle. But, I mean, again, 109 kilos is just a wrecking ball. When you mix that speed and that size, he's someone that I think no matter where they put him, whether it's starting or off the bench, he's going to light it up for them. So, so much to like about him.
And I think he was the top try scorer in the NPC this year as well. So just continued where he left off, just freakish talent. I think Cargie picked him up when he started at the start of the year with a few injuries, and then somehow he just never dropped him. He was coming off the bench or starting every week.
No, he tried to trade it with everyone, and we go, he is not going to start.
Yeah, he's dead weight. And then he just killed it the entire year. Yeah. I'm going to go for another player that's new to the side, definitely new hot shit. You should know him because he's Pablo Matera. At 28 years old, he did captain Argentina for a period.
You got no respect for the rules, do you?
Absolutely not. Did play for Stade Francais before this. And, man, he was, in my opinion, getting close to the best open side flanker in the world a couple of years ago. In a Crusader system, I just don't know how good he could be. You know, he was not playing in the strongest team in the world when he was doing that. So I don't know how good this guy can go. That's all.
Yeah, he's an exciting one to watch. If he can add anything else to his game, I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can, but just to have the support around him as this Crusader squad can only make him stronger. For players that you might know, we've got Che Fiaki, just turned 21. Is a relatively large sort of style winger at 100 kilograms and 192 centimetres. Starting fullback, playing 80 minutes a week for Canterbury. So, that's not too shabby playing for Canterbury. And he made his debut for the Crusaders last year as well. Obviously, he's a centre. So he's going to be an exciting one to watch. Fullback. Centre or fullback. He plays centre as well.
Yeah, I think they'll look at him as a fullback, though mainly in this side, to be honest. But he's just a freak. And the one run that he got last year, I remember him just carving up through Crusaders. And we had talked about him pre-season, but still you see him go to this level and then first touch of the ball, they're already amazing. You're like, this is just ridiculous. Like, this can't just keep happening time and time again.
Yeah, he's a very exciting player to watch. But obviously there's a bit of competition in that 15 jersey for the Crusaders. So.
A little bit, yeah.
Next one I named into the same category is Fergus Burke. He's someone that very surprisingly racked up 10 games. So if you've been sort of paying attention to them, you'd know the name, but across all those matches, he only got 180 minutes, so he hasn't seen much. I think he only started them once. The thing I like about him is there's potentially going to be a bit of time without Richie Mo'unga. So if he is the most experienced, I shouldn't say most experienced, if he's the 10 that's known the system the longest, then he's got a good chance.
Yep.
I think pretty big boy, is bigger than your average fly half, but he also racked up the 4th most points in NPC this year. So, I mean, he's not a shabby goal kicker. He's, got a bit to offer. He's no Richie Mo'unga, but if he gets game time, I mean, you can't not take a Crusader that's starting. So he gets a little bit of value there.
Going to be just a phenomenal late pickup for fantasy managers, I think.
Yeah,
for sure.
You might not know. Should we get onto there? I'm going to go, I might go for a new player. So they signed 5 academy players from Canterbury this year, and the one that stood out to me was Dominic Gardner. 20 years old. He's a loose forward. He's only 89 kilos, 193 centimetres. So I think he's got a lot of growing and thickening up to do, to be honest, which means we might not see a lot of him this year. I love that his dad was a back row. I think he played like 46 or 48 caps for the Crusaders as well, and also happens to be in charge of signing their talent. I would say they said that he removed himself from those conversations. They didn't get picked because Daddy was there. He started as a fly half centre and then converted into the back row in the back end of high school. So he's going to have a very good skill set, which the entire back row at the Crusaders does. But he's one of those multi-talent players as well. I think he was the head boy at school. He was captain of the first 15 cricket in rugby. Also played top level cricket and hockey as well. So a man that is that well rounded, 193 centimeters tall, has rugby success in their blood. He could be an absolute freak. And I think between him and one of the other loose forwards that they signed, Corey Kellau, they broke 3 or 4 of the 10 records that were on offer for the Crusaders ever in the back row. So there's some talented young guys coming in.
Yeah, I mean, he's an exciting one. Rev, do you have anyone?
Yeah, my last one's Fletcher Newell. I think he might have even got a mention last year at some point, but he's a young tight head prop. We've mentioned a lot of props today because, there's a lot of exciting ones coming through. The big thing for him, he's got the big body, so 185 centimeters, 121 kilos. But more importantly, he's actually looking like he could get some good minutes this year. With Michael Alalatai going to Ireland, it's really shaping up as a bit of a battle between him and Ollie Jaeger, it seems, for the minutes. And Jaeger's got the experience over him. But Jaeger's already said that, he's got, a few injury concerns over the years. He's not a massive body. He's actually one of the better scrummagers, but not as big a body just in the loose. So if Newell can step it up, he got 4 matches last year. He could be a really exciting option.
Yeah, I know that he squatted 255 kilos to break the record in the academy. And I know that they had footage of the entire side watching him on social media squatting about 2 weeks ago. So I dare say he's now broken that record and squatting 260 plus. He is so strong. Like, I cannot imagine how much power that bloke can put into a scrum. He's basically a tractor, and I think that should be his nickname.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works for that tight head jersey, and that's Tomati Williams. So he's saying he really wants to focus on that tight head jersey at about 144 kilos. He's not a bad shape for that tight head role, and he's 196 centimeters. So he is an absolute behemoth, one of the biggest guys running around on a rugby paddock you'll ever see. And 22 years old, spent a lot of time in Australia, I think through Perth. But he loves to run. Yeah, Harry's comparing him to Pony Fa'amausili. So the same height, 196 centimeters, but Pony is only 130 kilos, so small fries.
14 kilo on Pony.
Yeah. Jeez. And he's still growing. He's only 20, so 22, sorry. And he's got a lot of promise. And if he can fill both roles, I mean, there's a good chance we see him, but he said that he does want to focus on that tight head role. And then, I mean, there's been a little bit of a lack of depth maybe there for the All Blacks that he thinks he can slot into. So it'll be interesting.
Well, I think Moody and Bauer are going to play every single minute between them for the loose head side. So it's probably not a bad decision from Tomati Williams to go and contest with Fletcher Newell for a bench spot. And I dare say I think he might end up running over the top of him just because he's such a big boy. But they've got some quality tight heads.
Can we see Pone running off like the line drop out directly into him?
Yeah,
that'll be one of the biggest impacts you could ever see. Everyone else can step aside and watch these two guys run each other.
This is a perfect example of centralisation, though. Surely one of these two guys gets picked up by the Hurricanes where there are no props.
Yeah, it's true.
Or the Highlanders, anything.
Or you can come to the Waratahs. We need another tight head prop.
It's still not really. We got some goodies. All right. That'll do us on the Crusaders. Believe it or not, we could keep speaking about all their players.